What's going on, gamers? Welcome back to another costuming video. Get your snacks, because this one's another theory. Now, Rim Games is, he is crazy with it. He has finally covered all the theories on books and all that stuff. So now we're moving on to more of a family matter, okay? More family-ish. And that's good. That's good. I was about to say, you'll just keep talking about books, but no, we're good. We're going to family. We're going to see what he has to say about a family, and let's just get into this, boys. And go.
Well, he's dead.
Hello all, and welcome to episode 5 of this Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared theory series.
Yeah,
in this episode, we are going to go over death. And not just what we've gone over already, we're going to look at everybody. Yellow guy, red guy, Duck, Roy, and even Leslie.
Now, you've got the 5 best characters in the show right there, so you better be good.
Back in episode 2 and 4, we talked about how Yellow Guy, or really David, is Leslie's son.
Yep.
There are many clear moments to tell us this, so we know for a fact that David was once Leslie's son.
Yep.
Check out the film theory video that goes a lot into
I've
David's
seen it,
death.
don't worry.
Now, alright, we have 2 people in this family, but what if I told you that there was a third? We know that Yellow Guy is David.
Okay.
But wait, we know something else.
What else
Let's
do we know?
take a look at the ending of episode 3.
Roy is...
If Yellow Guy is Roy's son, then that would mean that Roy is David's dad, right?
Okay,
well,
okay.
currently, this could just be seen as a funny bit as a fake father figure for this character, as we saw with Red Guy's family.
Look, regardless, either way, whatever he's going to say, Roy is GOAT top character. No one can beat Roy.
So let's make sure that we are correct here. There's one more moment that I find quite important, and that's in episode 5. When we go through the David flashback, he looks next door at the other neighbors, and we can see something very interesting. This guy in the window...
I was just about to say! That guy has Roy's crooked nose, man. I noticed it just right when he said that.
Next to Duck.
Okay. Oh, and Duck's in there.
Looks oddly similar to Roy. He has the same nose, similar eyes.
Yeah.
The only thing that's different is that this is a human version of him. Let's write that down and approach this later.
Human Roy.
So now we know the full family, but this doesn't really answer anything about death. Well, let's start looking at our main cast of characters. Why don't we take a look at episode 2, titled Death.
Alright, I'm ready.
We start the episode with the coffin, guessing Yellow Guy is the person who died, a hint to David, but we get a lot more information throughout the entirety of this episode as well. At the very beginning, Duck said he died from dehydration. But isn't this just a joke for the plot of the episode? Well, we can see here that Duck had gotten his insides removed. Now, we know that they are dolls, but we
I completely forgot about that. That's disgusting.
But Duck has gotten his insides removed.
Stop showing it to me, man.
You can't really live with your insides removed. This is a bit interesting, so let's write it down. There's a few more things in this episode we should take a look at.
Okay.
When Yellow Guy is sitting in his bedroom, sulking about Duck's death.
I mean, why's he gotta be sitting like that?
With the lamp, where he talks about the concept of life after death.
I still, if you guys have not seen my tier list, I think Lamp should not be in the show with his voice. Lamp's voice just, it's not right, man. I hate it. I'm sorry. I just hate Lamp's voice. Hot opinion. Hot take.
Something tells me that when we die, we go into the center of the earth. Well, it's not quite the center. It's in between.
Well, in the show, it's a little bit better, but
relive our lives. But
it's just too airy.
For a new super race known as the Council.
Super race.
And every time you get it right, you get a pound.
He says something weird here.
Okay.
I know everybody says something weird in this show, but this was especially weird because we've seen similar situations to this throughout the show.
I mean, Yellow Guy did this.
At the ending of episode 1, we can see this.
I almost forgot. You've earned this.
Oh yeah, the pound.
Duck gets a pound from the briefcase. Now, we can't just say that we solved everything through this.
Oh, no, we did. We did it. We did it. We did it.
We did. Oh, we solved.
Okay.
But what if something else could show this to us? Let's go back to episode 2 and look at Duck's funeral. We can see a slideshow of Duck's greatest moments. In it, we can see this. A picture of Duck in the workplace.
That is the real Duck.
We can this all together now. To the blackboard. We know that Duck's insides were removed.
Okay.
We know that according to the Lamp's idea of death, you get a pound every time you do something right.
Okay.
We know that Duck got a pound in the same episode as the workplace.
Okay.
And we see Duck actively in the workplace in the slideshow.
All right.
We can put all of this together. It would seem...
4? That's all I got from that. I just counted to 4.
Lamp was onto something here. We have an actual moment where Duck gets a pound from doing something that he has done before, exactly like what Lamp said would happen after he died.
Oh, that's what he was talking about.
And we see that Duck's insides got removed, so we have 2 confirmations from this one episode. Duck is dead, and the lamp was right.
I need to hear the lamp
Deaths
thing
far,
again.
But we also know how they died. David was hit by a car,
Yep.
and Duck died from dehydration. But there's still one more person that we haven't discussed of the main
Roy?
3. Red Guy.
Oh.
Good old Mr. Peterson himself.
I wanted Red,
Well,
not Red. I wanted Roy.
In episode 1, we see Red Guy get old, but he doesn't die. In episode 3, he gets his blood taken, but again,
he doesn't die.
But episode 2, we do hear something quite interesting when Red Guy wants to be dead. He opens up the family wallet.
And it's like, you're
something that we
alive,
all
or
have, of
you're gonna die in a
course,
pond,
and
didn't
we
he?
hear this.
I was more hoping that I was dead.
What? Don't be silly. You don't die for ages.
Aw.
You die in the lake.
Yeah.
I think you drown. There's definitely
Yeah,
water.
whatever. Back in
There's
your
definitely
The
water.
wallet says that Red Guy drowns in a lake. Now, there is a problem that arises here.
What would
The
that
ID
be?
card says that Red Guy doesn't die for a while, and only Ducks has the X's over the eyes to indicate his death.
I didn't even realize
but this
that.
is also already
Wait.
wrong. We know for a fact
Hold on.
that Yellow Guy / David. This is also
Yeah, I was just
and
about to
only
say, look.
Ducks has the X's over the eyes.
Oh my
ID
God, go
card
back
says
more,
that
please.
Red Guy
Yeah, Yellow's,
die
his
for a
eyes
while.
are still open. If David is dead,
and only Ducks has the X's over the eyes to indicate
That's all I'm
his
saying.
death. But this is
And that's all
also
I'm saying. It was a
already
bad point.
wrong. We know for a fact that Yellow Guy / David is dead.
Yeah.
So his ID card should also have the X's over
That's
the
what I
eyes.
was
The
saying.
looks of these ID cards are just props for this episode, so we can't really trust the looks of them. So is Red Guy really dead? Well, let's
No.
look at one thing that can tie all of this together in
You
a
didn't
nice
drown in the
bow.
lake yet.
In episode 3, Yellow Guy defines family
God.
in a funny way.
okay, define it.
And die on the same day in the same style of accident, but in
And
different
locations.
Well said, brother.
He
I
says
mean-
that a family dies on the same day.
Real quick, I do want to point out, in the original series, that's normally how their episodes went. All of them normally died in the same way, the same style, the same time. So I would count them as
In
family.
the same style of accident. And then, Red Guy specifically calls Yellow Guy his brother as if to
Yeah.
confirm this statement. This is the full proof we need to know that Red Guy is dead too. But wait,
Sorta.
if we're going by this statement,
But they didn't
and we know
all
how
die
Red
from the
Guy and
same
Duck
thing.
Died, how could they possibly have died
Yeah.
in the same style of accident? Well, let's take a look at Duck's slideshow in episode 2 again.
Okay.
We can see that Duck's final moment is in a plane, which is a form of transportation, which is the same thing that causes
So you
Yellow
thinking
Guy's
Red-
death.
You thinking
But
Red's
once
gonna be in a
again,
boat?
Didn't Duck die from dehydration? Well, yes. A very common way to die from dehydration is being stranded. It is very easy to be stranded in a
so you
plane
think
crash.
maybe-
Just look at the plot
Yeah,
of
maybe he got
Castaway.
stranded
A plane
on the
crash
island,
caused
and maybe
Tom Hanks
Red
to be
got.
stranded. A form of
God, it's so. I'm sorry, it's so hard to put my opinion while he's talking. I know you guys want to hear this too, but so I think he's thinking that Duck is gonna be stranded on the island, while Red Guy is going to probably get the gas in his boat gone. It's just gonna die in the middle of the ocean, and then he dies there too. That's the only way I can think of it.
Transportation causes Duck's death. But once again, how does this relate back to Red Guy?
Let's see if I was
Let's look
right
at
with
the
what he
ending
was
of
thinking.
transportation. Why transportation? Well, every time we see a character's death, it is in an episode that is heavily centered towards them. We see
Okay.
Duck's death in episode 2, which
Yeah.
is all about Duck, and we see Yellow Guy's death in episode 5,
Yeah.
but his full death in episode 6, where he's the main character of that episode.
Oh yeah.
Now, episode 5 is heavily centered towards Red Guy, as he is the one
He
who
doesn't
breaks
really
out
die,
and
though.
drives them the entire time. At the end of this episode, there are some very key things that happen here. Red
Okay.
Guy's car breaks down at a dump, leaving him stranded as well.
I don't think he's
While
dead.
we can't see exactly where this location is, we can definitely see a lot more than we think we can. But this time, it isn't something like brightening an image.
Yeah.
We have to go to Instagram. A
Instagram.
few weeks ago, Becky uploaded a photo to promote the hunt for the Leslie car. The creators of the show hid the Leslie car in a random
Wait,
dump,
really?
presumably in the UK, which sucks because that means I can't look for it. But the main point of this
That's
is
actually
the next
awesome.
image here. We can see the Leslie car again,
Okay, I'm
but from a
looking.
different angle. And hold on, what's
Is that an
behind it?
airport?
Water. Red
Oh.
Guy, in his transportation breakdown, ended up stranded near water,
Okay.
which just
This is a little bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna let it keep going.
like Duck's death, parallels perfectly with both what the ID car said
Yep.
and what Yellow Guy said. We now know that Yellow Guy was killed by a car,
Yep.
Duck died from dehydration
Of
after a plane
course.
crash, and Red Guy drowned after an accident with his car. That's amazing. We're starting to get somewhere.
But here's the thing. If all of that is what we're talking about, what about the Duck and Yellow Guy that was with Red with the transportation episode? Doesn't mean they died in the exact same way there. Wouldn't it make more sense to just say they all died there? I don't know. I don't know.
So let's continue. We know that all these dolls are dead people.
Yes.
But what does that mean for Roy? I mean, he is a puppet
But
as
I
well,
get what
no?
he's saying. Like, that's
well,
the main
let's
focus.
Go back to episode
That's
5.
the one where they
we
died.
can see the human Roy in the window of his house in the same flashback where we can see
Yes.
David's death. As we know, these characters were people before they died, which is solidified through the actual people that we see throughout this show.
Of course.
We can also say that if he's looking at David through the window only seconds before he's run over, then he in fact witnessed
Yeah, he
David's
watched
death
his own kid
just like
die.
Leslie. And while Leslie was distraught over David's death,
I didn't see any.
don't think we can say the same for Roy.
Yeah,
As we see Roy
I don't know if Leslie saw her son die, but she knows her son died. Because I feel like they would have put an Easter egg, like they put Roy, they might have put Leslie like behind her, but like a doll version of her. I don't know.
interact with Yellow Guy throughout the original YouTube show, Roy seems very absent and neglectful of Yellow Guy and his needs. And we can
Yeah.
also see this in episode 3 when Roy pushes Yellow Guy aside because he cares more about this family than Yellow
No,
Guy.
he does not. He
Now,
cared
to
more
figure
about
out
killing
what
that
happened to
family
Roy,
for
it
Yellow Guy.
requires
What are
some
you talking about?
speculation without full evidence, but by analyzing human behavior.
If you say
We
Roy
have
died,
someone who is very distraught over the death of their child and someone who doesn't seem to care. Obviously, there would be a lot of disagreements in this situation, and it could very easily lead to fights and an
all I'm saying, if he said Roy died from that family that he walked into and literally massacred, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
eventual split. This idea of Roy being kicked out of Leslie's life is solidified by episode
Okay.
5 when we see a very broken looking Roy in the car.
Roy,
with them,
my
who
guy.
I had mentioned been found on the
What's
side
wrong
of the road.
with you?
Such comfortable seats, I might have a seat.
I'm gonna try not to get copyrighted.
Roy seems
Roy?
to not have died at the same time as the rest of these characters,
Yeah.
considering he is not considered to be in the family with our main 3 characters,
Yeah.
only being associated with Yellow Guy, but we know he did die considering his current status as a puppet when seeing him as a human earlier. Now,
Yeah, so
there's
maybe when you die, you turn into a puppet. I don't know, or you have to be chosen to turn into a puppet by Leslie or someone higher up. That's an interesting theory in itself. Oh
one more
my,
thing we need to discuss. Leslie.
which is probably
she
also
seems
what
to
he's
be
going
human, but is held together by these stitches.
through. Okay.
We know how distraught she was from David's death, as we can hear
So she
her
didn't quite die
scream
if we're
in
going
the
by my theory
flashback,
here.
And we know what being a puppet
But she is
means.
like dead
In
inside.
a very sad conclusion, I think we might be able to figure out what happened to Leslie as she climbed her way out of
Almost
this
died.
state while being forever scarred from
My
it.
cat almost just
Well,
jumped
we
on
figured
this
out
desk.
what happened to everyone with their deaths.
Yes.
But why don't we try to figure out some of their life? We can
Okay.
really only comfortably discuss David and Duck's former life, though.
I would love
David
that.
was seemingly an only child and moved to a new town, Melhoven, at a young age
course.
with his mother, Leslie, father, Roy, and his dog. Very shortly after they
His
arrived,
duck.
the local town priest decided to greet David and make him feel welcome in this town
Yeah.
while his dad was meeting the other neighbors and his mother was off doing something. Sadly, when his gift
I thought the theory was that Leslie was in the car. I thought Leslie was the one that hit him with the car. I don't know.
began to fly into the road, David decided to chase it until he was met with his mother's car. That is the unfortunate death of David/Yellow Guy. In Duck's former life, however,
Yeah.
he used to train in martial arts, played the banjo,
Yep.
graduated from school,
I
and
mean,
got
he
a
was-
job in the workplace.
He did
He
great.
eventually got promoted to an executive decision, had the money
Position.
to eat extravagantly, but
Yep.
then his passion for the military began taking him over until he finally joined the Air Force.
He did.
Eventually, there was a
He does
problem
talk
with his
about being in the
plane,
military
and
a
he
lot in
became
all the show.
stranded and died from dehydration as a member of the Air Force.
We'll never
Red
forget
Guy,
you.
we can only safely know that he had car troubles until he ended up at a dump and then
Yep.
tragically drowned in the lake behind him. Now, I feel like we should go back to the lamp's discussion, as he says a lot of things that we are starting to show in our explanations here.
Yeah, what would that
The
be?
lamp mentions receiving a pound after successfully reenacting a moment in your life, which Duck gets after the job.
Oh, wait, reenacting a moment in your life? Is that what he was saying? Every time you reenact something you did when you lived, you get a pound. Now that right there is interesting. Oh my.
As we see in his memories. There is even a pound on the book to show its importance.
There's
now,
also a worm.
If the lamp was right, we need to really start discussing the rest of what he says, such as, who is the council? Who could this council be?
Who could it be?
The highest power in the show. The ones who control every character, more or less, and indirectly gave Duck a pound for the proper reenactment.
Okay.
We started discussing this in episode 4 when we built this feudal pyramid. Even though Leslie and Roy are very high powers in the show, they are not the highest powers.
Really?
Leslie and Roy seem to be the caretakers / supervisors of this show. One, a puppet involved with the characters directly, and one, a humanish character influencing these characters indirectly and keeping an eye on the upper floors of this house. The actors, however, are an unstoppable force, literally controlling anything they want to.
If the puppets tried to stop the actors, they just couldn't, because the actors are controlling the I mean, that's like, it's my arm trying to stop me. Like, I don't know. I say I don't know after almost everything, because it always sounds stupid.
Characters, she wants to escape the council.
Yes.
I'm getting a little excited now, but we still have one part of Lamp's explanation to look over. The Lamp says that when they die, they go into not quite the center of the earth, but they are clearly not in the center of the earth. But
maybe he's referring to the dollhouse.
That it isn't quite the center of the earth. All of these characters are located on the bottom floor of this dollhouse, the farthest away from the top, which is the center of this isolated world. Everyone is dead. The main 3 characters died at the exact same times in different locations, all due to transportation accidents and malfunctions.
Yeah.
And in death, they are forced to perform their own lives for the council, getting a pound if they do it correctly. But these characters don't want to be here, so they consistently try to escape, not letting them get the award they were promised.
That's a pretty good...
This show is complicated. Now, like I said before, this next video coming up is very special, and I'm not sure exactly when it'll come out, so make sure you have notifications turned on after subscribing to know exactly when that video is up.
Alright, boys, you heard him. So that's Rim Games. Make sure you go subscribe to him. Maybe even throw a sub my way. Anyways, he's very smart. He's very quick on these theories too. Whenever his final, I think it's his final next theory comes out, you know I'm gonna be reacting to that. And I've got some other things up my sleeves I've been working on. But anyways, boys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next one, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
It's that it's that I said the